Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mrinmoy Pramanik. I teach comparative Indian language and literature at the University of Calcutta. Today we will discuss a play called Kanyasulkam. This is a module from Comparative Literature, Drama in India. The content of this module is written by Dr. Vamsi Krishna Reddy, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. Telugu drama has a prominent place in producing several pioneering works and has a unique place in Indian drama. Among them, Kanyasulkam by Gurjada Venkata Appa is considered as the greatest. Appa popularized as a pathfinder of modernism in Telugu literature. Most of the time in his life, he was with Vijayanagaram rulers by working and producing lot of research in English classics. He produced his writings by using the spoken Telugu dialect. One of his masterpieces, a prose play, Kanyasulkam, inscribed in the Visakhapatnam dialect, which is a popular work of art in the genre of Telugu drama, and remains admiring. Apparau's Muttala Saralu, Strings of Pearls, and Nilagiri Painlu, Songs of Nilagiri, place a new trend in Telugu poetry. Kanyasulkam is considered as the first modern text in Telugu literature. It is also one of the earliest works in Telugu theatre to have appreciated the colonial models of modernity. Apparau came across many uncertainties and contradictions in the ideologies of reforms in the movements during 19th century in Andhra Pradesh. However, he has succeeded in exposing Daden society and their atrocities in life with his critical discernments in Kanyasulkam. This play primarily deals with the evil practice of bride price, in other words, dowry, along with many other interrelated social issues of the time, such as child marriage and widow remarriage. Apparau's intention is serious, but his indispensable dramatic mode in his play is comedy. Humor and levity have become weapons for his dramatic masterpiece in foregrounding the tradition and modernity. Kanyasulkam created a revolution both in social reforms field and Telugu literature alike. It dealt with the abolition of child marriages and bride price. It will be a futile exercise to capture the essence of Kanyasulkam in a module of this nature, since its influence and themes are multifaceted with huge impact on the society. However, this module attempts to introduce the work, its background, and the context in which it is written. Kanyasulkam is set in the Vijayanagaram princely state of British India. The play deals basically with the lives of the Upper caste Telugu Brahmins of the Agraharam, segregated residential area for Brahmins. However, it also offers a few insights into the lives of other communities in the region as well. The play revolves around two characters, namely Mr. Girisam, an English-educated, quick-witted and resourceful but dishonest Brahmin man, and Madhuravani, a prostitute who values and considers her morals seriously. Even though the play continues a shell of humor through satire, it expresses the dishonor to society that outraged the playwright. Career and works of the author. Gurjada Venkata Appa, popularly known as Gurjada, born on September 21st, 1862 in Rayavaram village near Yalamanchili of Visakhapatnam district of Andhra Pradesh, into a Telugu Brahmin family. Some of his popular works, along with Kanyasulkam, are Prathaparudriyam, Purnamma, and Vishwavidyalayalu. He is honored with the titles such as Kavi Shekhara and Avyudaya Kavita Pithamahudu. He was highly popular for bringing spoken language to the masses with his literary writing. His Kanyasulkam is considered as the best and the greatest play in Telugu theatre. He died on 30th November 1915. List of his important works: Kanyasulkam 1892, Kukku, an English poem published in 1882, Konduvatyam 1906, Nilagiri Patalu 1907, Muttala Saramulu and Kasulu in 1910, Kanyaka and Subhadra 1912, and Langarattumu in 1915. List of characters in Kanyasulkam: Agnihotra Vadanlu, Venkatesham's father; Venkamma, wife of Agnihotra Vadalu; Buchamma, elder daughter of Agnihotra Vadani; Subamma, younger daughter of Agnihotra Vadanlu; Venkatesam, son of Agnihotra Vadanlu; Karataka Sastri, brother-in-law of Agnihotra Vadanlu; Shishudu, the student of Karataka Sastri; and Luvda Vadanlu, Venkamma's brother; Minakshi, widowed daughter of Luvda Vadanlu; Ramapantulu, Karanam of Ramachandrapuram Agraharam and brother-in-law of Luvdavadanlu; Girisam, cousin of Luvdavadanlu; and Maduravani, a prostitute; Sojanna Ravu Pantulu, a lawyer; and Naidu, lawyer. Now, brief summary of the play. Act 1 and Scene 1. The play starts in Bonkulu Dibba, a village near Vijayanagaram, which is situated in northeast part of Andhra Pradesh. This scene introduces Girisham and other important characters along with their nature and professions. Girisham introduced as an English educated man and he wants to reform the society. In this scene, we can see introduction of some characters and their nature and the jobs they do. The lead character, Girisham, is an English educated man who wants to eradicate the evil practices of the society. Girisham's life is full of debts and lives in the house of Puttakulamma, a widow in the village. He tries to visit Venkatesham's native place to train him in English as a teacher. Girisham tries to influence Venkatesham through his obnoxious speeches on child marriage and other evil practices of the society in existence. According to his views in Scene 1, reader's audience can understand his reformative attitude. The next scene. Ramapantulu has been introduced in this scene. The meetings of Girisham, Ramapantulu and Maduravani offer a comic offers when Puttakulamma comes in search of Girisham for taking some money for Maduravani and consequently attacks Ramapantulu with the broomstick. Act 2, Scene 1. This scene opens in Krishnanarayanapuram village at Agnihotra Vandalu's home. Here characters like Karataka Shastrulu and his student Venkamma, Agnihotra Vandalu's wife Minakshi and Subbi, their daughters, are being introduced. Minakshi is a widow who seems interesting in view of her statements on remarriages of widows. Scene 2. This scene begins in the temple garden. The conversation between Karataka Sastri and his student shows the efficacy of English education and dislike towards the traditional way of learning the Vedas and other themes in Telugu literature. Scene 3. This scene occurs in front of Agnihotra Vadanlu's house. Girisham and Venkatesam enter and encounters with each other during dinner. They speak on the subject of English education, Girisham's political strategies in gaining name and fame under the name of social reform by encouraging child marriages and widow remarriages. They talk about the people who have been roaming around lawsuits. Girisham recites a poem called The Widow. Now Act 3, Scene 1. The present scene shows the aptitude and talent of Maduravani in settling many disputes. The scene begins in Ramachandrapuram at Ramapantalu's house. The reader or audience understands that the property of Agnihotra Vadanlu is under dispute and also notices that his attitude in manipulation of palmistry and documents. She inspects about Lubdavadanlu's wedding with Subbi. Scene 2. It occurs in the bedroom of Ramapantalu. The first part of this scene happens between the student and Madhuravani. Karataka Shastri is also there. Karataka Shastri appeals Madhuravani about his niece and seeks help to save Subbi from the marriage with Lubdavadanlu. He manages to show his student dressed in woman's clothes and asks Ramapantalu that he wants to sell the girl for marriage to clear his debts. He greets Madhuravani about her conduct. Scene 3. The scene takes place in the house of Agnihotra Vadanlu. It is the conversation among Girisam, Venkatesam and Agnihotra Vadanlu after gazing at Buchamma, a young widow. Girisam, shocked to see her beauty, and compares her with Madhuravani in a soliloquy. One hand, Girisam admires Buchamma's spectacular beauty with prettiness and calls her as a pure diamond. Next scene 4. This scene starts in the backyard of Agnihotra Vadanlu's house. It occurs among Buchamma, Girisam, Venkatesham and Agnihotra Vadanlu. At this point, Buchamma asks about Girisam and his magnitude. Buchamma questions Girisam why he did not marry a widow. Girisam makes them feel surprised and scolds Venkatesham for climbing the guava tree. Finally, he reads a poem about Buchamma's beauty. Act 4, Scene 1. This scene revolves around Ramapantalu, Madhuravani, Lubdavadanlu, Shishya, Karataka Shastri. Madhuravani mocks Ramapantalu during his attempt to read a letter written by Girisam to Lubdavadanlu. She chortles at him because of Girisam's comparison of Ramapantalu with a donkey and camel. Scene 2 and 3. These two scenes take place at Lubdavadanlu's house and at the backyard respectively. They talk about the marriage. Later Meenakshi, Karataka Shastri and Siddhanti or Achanamma discuss the marriage. Meenakshi assures Karataka Shastri that she would take care of the girl regarding the wedding. Siddhanti shouts at Lubdavadanlu for being late. However, Ramapantalu supports Lubdavadanlu and opposes Siddhanti. Scene 4. The house of Lubdavadanlu's is the venue for the wedding. Shishya or bride, Pujari, Gavariya, Kandivattu, Ramapattalu, Siddhanti and rest of the Brahmins sit together. The marriage takes place in Ramapantalu's absence. Scene 5. The scene primarily discloses Girisham's love towards Buchamma. He also discusses the god's creation of dependence and independence. Girisham also tries to encourage Buchamma to elope with him. He also reveals that if she comes with him, they can stop the marriage of her sister with an old man. He also boasts that he cannot live without her. Act 5, Scene 1. Act 5, Scene 1 happens in the bedroom of Lubdavadanlu. Meenakshi and Shishya are also present there. Lubdavadanlu dreamed that the earlier husband's soul of his wife come to murder him. He inquires Meenakshi to bring the Pujari Gavaraya to grab the ghost. Lubdavadanlu strongly feels that Meenakshi has killed the bride and scared of the ghost. Scene 4 discloses the various evil practices of the society. It opens at Ramachandrapuram Agraharam behind the Arak shop. This scene shows the readers or audience that there are many superstitions and therefore the attitudes of the people are surrounding with the witchcrafts and other supernatural entities. Characters such as Bairagi, Yogini, Munasab, Sominaidu, Satani Malavaya, Jangam Virasam, Shopkeeper, Ramdas, Havaldar Achana, head constable, and Ramapantalu are taking part in this scene. Scene 5 takes place at the footsteps of the temple, and Ashirigadu complains to the head constable that Ramapantalu went to old man's house to fix with Minakshi. He later claims that Madhuravani is bad. She is bad not only because Ramapantalu is not visiting this place, whereas he is not getting money. He later says that if anyone goes to her, she would beat him or her. Scene 6 assures the promise of Ramapantalu to marry Minakshi. Later she joins with him and goes out with the help of Lubdavadanlu. When Madhuravani rejects to open the door, he urges Minakshi not to travel him because he would marry her secretly. Act 6. Scene 1 takes place in Ramachandrapuram between Ramapantalu and Ognihotravadhanlu. While they discuss the marriage of Lubdavadanlu, Ramapantalu informs Ognihotravadhanlu about Lubdavadanlu's marriage, which happened 10 days ago. He got irritated for and wants to beat Lubdavadanlu. Scene 2 opens near the pond. Scene 4 and 5 deals with insisting Ramapantalu to go for a case against Lubdavadanlu and threatening Sisya by Madhuravani regarding the necklace respectively. Scene 6 offers the episode of Karataka Shastri and Shishya's conversation. Act 7. Scene 1 of the final act offers the story of Bairagi and his promise to the head constable with regard to Buchamma's whereabouts with his Anjanam. Scene 2 happens with the deputy collector Bhima Rao, Ramapantalu, Ognihotravadhanlu, Naidu and others. They curse and blame each other about the case in view of its impact and its problems in the court, about the properties, etc. Scene 4 is set in the streets. Ognihotravadhanlu and Naidu are in a conversation regarding the withdrawal of the case. Scene 5 occurs in the house of Lubdavadanlu. Girisam inquires Lubdavadanlu about the case. Sojanna Rao helps Lubdavadanlu in that matter. Scene 6 is the last episode of the play. Girisam talks to Sojanna Rao about marriage with Buchamma. Here he asserted that it is a purely love marriage and not a widow marriage. During their conversation, Madhuravani enters and talks to Sojanna Rao about the proof of the case. Now let us talk about the social satire. Kanyasulkam as a social satire. Kanyasulkam is considered to be one of the radical texts in Telugu language and literature for various reasons. First, it is hailed for its usage of spoken Telugu dialect, and secondly, for its intense but comic social satire. Surprisingly, Appa started initially in English, and Kanyasulkam is his first Telugu work. It is first enacted in 1892 and printed in 1897 and took Telugu society by storm and was an instant success. The play is believed to have started a new epoch in Telugu literature, both as a masterpiece and for its social relevance as against popular mythological fictions. Kanyasulkam is not propagandist art work, but it is powerful literary work that convey intense social message. Appa clearly states his intention behind writing the play in his preface of second edition. In his dedication to Sri Sri Ananda Gajapati Raj, Mania Sultan, Bahadur of Vijayanagaram, Appa declares that saving a very helpless section of our womankind from a galling type of slavery fraught with the germs of social demoralization, a humble servant made a feeble effort to arouse public opinion on the subject by exposing the evil in a popular drama. The drama is situated as a social realist drama and satire on rituals, practices of Brahmin community in particular and others in general. He says in the same preface as modern life, which presents complex social conditions, is neglected by playwrights except for purposes of the broadest farce and and poverty of invention is manifested by the constant handling of thread romantic topics. He strongly emphasized that drama has greater purpose and responsibility in waking up the masses from dogmatic approaches and superstitions. Instead of choosing comfortable genre such as romance, he thinks that social satire is challenging and apt for bringing the pertinent issues that society faces. Kanyasulkam is written in the context in which social evils such as child marriage, marriages of old men with very young girls, bride price, the prostitution of dancing girls, corruption among officials, alcoholism, superstition, and witchcraft have dominated social discourse. However, Kanyasulkam mainly focuses on bride price and widow marriages, which was the most pertinent issue, especially among the Brahmins in north coastal Andhra Pradesh. Coming to the characters and themes of the play, each and every character is very important in this play since each character represents a particular social reality of the time. Characters such as Agnihotra Vandanlu, Venkatesham, Girisham, and Madhuravani seems to be taking the major portion of the play. Especially, characters of Girisam and Madhuravani are greatest characters in Telugu literature, which stand for folly, vice, satire, and incongruity. Girisam can be considered as the main protagonist of the play, if not a hero, who represents so called modernity, Western ethos, and embodiment of crookedness, with his command over English and philosophy, and rightly called a pest and enemy within evil product of the alliance between traditional and modern social orders on the one hand and patriarchy on the other. It is argued that Girisam character was the product of his times, a generation of rapid changes where the existing values, attitudes were undergoing immense change. He is believed to be represented new English educated generation who were rootless and ruthless in the struggle for survival. His first entry itself starts with seduction and instant survival. He says that, "Can love be controlled by advisor? Will Cupid our mothers obey? It is women that seduce all mankind." While thinking about a love letter, he writes to a married woman in the town. He uses mixed code of English and Telugu in his conversation just to prove that his language and education is superior to others. Interestingly, his progressive outlook on the issues of child marriages, widow remarriages, dancing girls, prostitutes, and superstitions is informed by his English education and his Western mindset. He famously says about selling girls to old men as selling girls, damn it. He seems to be sympathetic to their cause and condition. However, he does not offer any solution other than opposing practices furiously, especially when Madhuravani asks him about the livelihood of dancing girls if they give up their profession. But Girisam, with all his flaws, is a lovable negative character, much like Mr. Jingle of the Pick Big Papers by Charles Dickens. Probably, Girisam represents the generation of social reforms who have internalized the progressive outlook but not solutions. Appa seems to be skeptical about his generation of new thinkers. Now, let us talk few words about Kanyasulkam and Vyavaharika Bhasa Uddamam, or spoken dialect movement. In order to bring social issues to the forefront, it is important to convey the issues effectively to the masses in the language they understand. Hence, Appa argued and fought for liberalizing Telugu from Sanskrit. If Kandukuri Veerasalingam, another revolutionary writer, widened the base of Telugu literature by employing new literary forms such as the play, satire, novel, essay. Gurjada, through his creative literary forms called Muttala Saralu, was the founder of Telugu modern poetry. He declared that literature in the vernacular will knock at the door of the peasant and it will knock at the door of Englishman in India. Its possibilities are immense. Along with the reforms, Giddugu Ramamurthy, another Telugu writer, democratized the Telugu language by launching a sustained movement to popularize spoken dialect or Vyavaharika Vasa and made sure that Telugu scholars use them in their writings. Hence, the trio, the Kandukuri, Gurjada, and Gidugu, are known as the founders of modern Telugu literature. Appa argues that I cannot understand how modern writers fail to see the merits of spoken Telugu. Its softness, which elicited an admiration of foreigners, and its range of expression. At this movement, the best prose in the language is in the spoken dialect. Strange as it may sound, Telugu prose owes its origin and development not to the patronage of kings or to the influence of foreign literatures, but to the exertions of a curious Englishman who stimulated compilation of local histories in the vernacular during the early years of the last century. Hence, this language movement should be seen in the background of building broad cultural movement in which the oppressed, neglected sections are drawn. Their efforts truly paid off by liberation of Telugu language and literature from Sanskritized Telugu. Now, let us conclude our discussion. He presided over all genres such as poetry, short story, drama, critical essay, and flourished equally in all areas of writings. He liberated Telugu dialect and writing, reshaped them to suit them to present day times, made them civilizing media, tuned into living reality as against the dead past. Before there is little which great, this was his admonishment in one of his lyrics, Love the country. My cause is the cause of the people. To please anyone, I cannot discard it. I unquote. He announced with the enthusiasm of an evangelist. His scholarly manifestations proceed to throb and flourish even following quite a few years. Telugu literature, civilization, and community are proud of Appa Rao and his works, and as a revolutionary poet Sri Sri rightly says that Appa Rao is the greatest writer of modern Telugu language and literature in his preface note to Kanyasulkam. Thank you.